What's going on YouTube? Next Mike up back again with week 3 recap, week 4 picks. That's what we're doing in this video. So let's start off with the week 3 recap. So this was my first pick, which was the lock of the week. I had Tampa over Denver. Tampa covered by over 6 and they won 28-10. Good performance all around from the Bucks. I mean, Denver's probably the worst team in the NFL right behind the Jets or the Giants. So due to injuries, so let's move on to the next game.
Nice.
So 1 point me. So who was your lock of the week?
The Colts.
Okay, and what did the Colts? The Colts won 36-7. And what were they to cover by? Was it like 12?
Yeah, 11
13,
and a half.
11 and a half. So I guess the Jets, man, oof, that was a tough performance by Darnold. 3 picks. That was a tough game. So that's 1 point you.
Easy win.
Now, for my push, this one kind of upset me. The Saints lost at home in New Orleans to Green Bay. And it was honestly one of those games where the Saints could have won if they just managed the game better. Their defense has got to start playing better because they can't allow 37 at home to Green Bay, even though Green Bay's got a great offense. And at the same time, a costly turnover costed New Orleans this game. It basically, you know, you'll find out why I'm angry about this game coming soon. Okay, so no points for me on that one because the Saints had to lose. So now we move on to your push. So who was your push for this week?
My push was the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I won.
Wow, great recap. What was it, 4.5 they were favored by, or 4?
Yeah, the Houston Texans, the greatest 0-3 team in football history. You know what? Steelers are good. Steelers at home. I just had a feeling they were going to win. It was a good game. They came back.
It was a good all-around game. Steelers have won 3 kind of, not
Yeah.
hard, but 3 pretty close, tight games so far in the season. But they're still 3-0.
Texas, a hard
So now
team.
3 points for you.
Yeah.
Am I money with upsets or what? 3-0 so far in the year on upsets, and Detroit comes through and beats Arizona. And honestly, I like Arizona. I said this in the last video, but Detroit, I just had a feeling they were going to come through and win this game or at least cover, and they ended up winning the game. I mean, bad performance by Kyler Murray, 3 interceptions. They got to play better than that, especially against the Detroit team. But you know what? I called this one. Detroit's got heart. They're going to fight. So
That was a great pick.
you didn't even expect that.
No, that was a complete upset.
So +3 for me. So right now I stand at 4 points. Now we're going to go into his upset.
I
So
wanna
what
talk about
happened?
it.
What happened with your Raiders here?
You know what? Mistakes were made.
16? They lost by 16. What did they have to be within 6?
Yeah.
Oof.
You know what it is? It just, you know what? It was tough last week. There wasn't really like great upsets, and I just wanted to see the Patriots lose. I think that's all it was.
That's always a
I
good
really
reason,
think that's
too.
all it was.
But
Patriots are the Patriots.
So 0 points on that.
that upset
Your
hurt.
upsets, you know what? You haven't been great on upsets so
No, I
far this
really
year. I'm just putting it
haven't.
out there. You haven't been. So, and now we'll move on to quarterback. I had Ryan Tannehill, and I literally should pull the clip up from last week. I told him Tannehill was going to go over 300 yards. I can easily see Ryan Tannehill putting up a 300-yard, 2-touchdown performance.
Wow.
What? Tannehill went 321 yards.
Ryan Tannehill.
I called it, though. Did I not?
Yeah, you did. But
I thought he was going to
Ryan
put up more
Tannehill.
touchdowns, but Derrick Henry, fantasy beast Derrick Henry
didn't
got
throw
2
a
touchdowns.
touchdown.
No, he didn't.
No.
And they still found a way to win this
Yeah,
game.
against Minnesota.
Yeah, they won the game.
Who I picked to go to the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Yeah, who's 0-3. Oof, great pick, Dad.
Not the best 0-3 team in the NFL.
But you know what? if Tannehill would have been able to put up touchdowns, I could have won this. But let's go into your quarterback and why I lost this matchup
Oof.
this week. So let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and show potentially the best quarterback in the NFL or number 2, okay? Because it's close.
Yeah,
So we
what
got.
about I?
Hold on. What the hell? We got Ryan Tannehill. We got Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson put up 5 touchdowns this week for 315 yards. Led the game-winning drive against Dallas. I mean, all-around great performance. I mean, I know you would love watching it just because the Cowboys lost and you had Russell Wilson as your QB.
You know, I wish I could watch Seattle and Kansas City play every single weekend against anybody. You know, we have
It
to watch
doesn't
the
even
Giants and
matter.
the Jets in our market, and you know what? It's not fair. You know what? I'm protesting regular television. Maybe I should get the NFL game ticket or something. Ugh.
So now he's got, what is that? That's 4 points right there. So
Yep.
now we're tied up at 4 points going into wide receiver. And you know what? Let's go. So he took Juju Smith-Schuster. You don't even see Juju here. Let me go to the full box score, right? So Juju this week only had, where's he at? 4 catches, 43 yards, 1 touchdown. That's pretty beatable, if you
Yeah,
took a
beatable.
wide receiver. But in my scenario, I happen, as I'm trying to get back, and I happen to pick somebody that wasn't even playing this week. Yeah, I took Devontae Adams, who was a game-time decision for the Packers, and then he didn't even play. And then look who went off. Their other receiver, Lazard. And now he's injured. So you know what? I guess I got to stay away from Green Bay receivers. I guess because obviously I think Devontae Adams would have put up numbers just like this. And yeah, so he gets the point by default.
Yes, I do.
So it's a win for him, but it's kind of a cheap win.
I told you I was gonna win week 3. Week 3, baby. And
it was
now,
a cheap win though.
Week 4, 2-2 after this
cheap
week.
win though. It was cheap.
I'll take it.
Any win is a win. So that was the recap. So far right now it's 2-1 on the season series. Kind of gave him one. I gotta make it interesting for the channel.
That's true.
But so now we move on to week 4. So let's see what our predictions are for week 4. Now starting off with the lock of the week for me, I'm going with in the Battle of Maryland. I'm going with Baltimore. Not saying much. I think this is a pretty big difference, even though Baltimore's favored by 14. 14's a tough cover, but I think Washington. I mean, last week Haskins had a lot of turnovers, and Baltimore's going to score a lot of points, unless they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's a lot of points.
And I think they're going to be able to cover by 14. Look at that. 14, over 45.5.
Jesus.
Listen, man, this is going to...
45.5 sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds doable. But I think it's going to be a pretty big win for Baltimore, and I think Washington just, they're still living off that Philadelphia Eagles Week 1 win. So I'll move on with Baltimore as my lock. Now, we head to another team that should be playing in the XFL, the San Francisco 49ers, with all their injuries they had. And go ahead.
Niners are my lock of the week.
His lock of the week. Just think about this. The Niners are starting Nick Mullins this week, right?
He was great last week.
They had I guess the Giants, he was spectacular.
414 yards,
but
buddy.
He had whatchamacallit. They have 11 players out right now, and they're still favored to win. They're at home? Yeah, I think they are home. All backups. Now, what does that say about the NFC East and the Philadelphia Eagles? That's
terrible.
That's not good. That's not good, man.
Nick Foles needs to come home.
Oh, sorry, Eagles fans. Now, last week, you know what? I went against the Cardinals, and it prevailed for me. But the first 2 weeks, pretty sure I predicted the Cardinals, or at least week 1, I know I did. And, so far they've come up pretty big for me. And they're going against Carolina, who obviously, somehow they won last week. They beat the Chargers without McCaffrey and everything like that. But the Chargers are one of those teams, it's tough with Tyrod Taylor or Herbert. Because, I'd rather have Herbert, but still. I'm going Cardinals here. Even in Carolina, I think Kyler Murray's going to bounce back. Had a tough week last week. The offense is still explosive, and Cardinals are going to put up a lot of points. So, and they're only favored to win by 3. Yep. So it's a pretty easy cover. That's why it's a good push.
Yeah, that's a good push.
Listen, man, you're riding this Colts wave all of a sudden. All of a sudden, they destroyed the Jets, and now you're riding the Colts wave. So what's going on? Why are you taking the Colts over Chicago? No, they're in Indy? No, they're in Chicago, yeah.
Phillip Rivers, the resurgence. I just think the Bears just changed their quarterback. All right, Foles did do good last week, but you know what? I got a feeling he's gonna, he's gonna come back. He's gonna play like he normally does when he's not playing for the Eagles, and he's gonna have a bad week. I think Colts are gonna be 3-1. I think they got a good team. They're solid.
Yeah, they're solid all around. Indianapolis. Their biggest weakness is probably Phillip Rivers, and that's saying something.
That's not too bad.
That's not too bad. So I would say that's probably the biggest weakness on their team. So it's a good pick. I think the only thing is with this is just depending on how good and how long Chicago's defense can bend and not break.
Sure.
Because I think that's the biggest thing. Because, one of the best pass rushers in the league.
Yeah, but it's a field goal. That's how you got to look at it.
That's how you look at it. It's going to be, even if it's a close game, as long as you win by a field goal. Mm-hmm. For my upset, I'm riding with the Browns.
Who?
Man, I just think this is a tough game. Cowboys lost the nail-biter last week, but I think Cleveland's better than a lot of people are giving them credit for. Yes, they've only beaten the Bengals and the Washington football team. Not remarkable wins, but still, I think that Cleveland's a good team. They just got to find a way to put up points, and Dallas does not have the greatest defense.
Dallas is the best 1-2 team in football.
I don't even think that's true. Don't even particularly think that's true.
At home, and against the Cleveland Browns,
they're gonna pound the rock, even though Dallas has a pretty good front, I think, and that's why I think the receiving attack has to be there this week for Cleveland to come away and upset the Cowboys in this game. And plus, as long as they're within 4.5,
yeah.
As long as they're within 4.5, I get the win on this anyways, and I think it's going to be a close game down to the wire.
I think you're losing your upset special this week.
4 for 4, baby.
My pick,
let's make it 4 for 4. Hold on, let's get to your pick. So what goes into your mind taking the Chargers over Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay?
I needed an upset. I don't know. You know what it is? It's one of those things where it's a 7-point spread, and you know what? You never know. I thought San Diego looked great against Kansas City.
You know what I just realized?
What?
Tom Brady went to a team full of weapons, and yet his leading receiver is still a white guy. Look at that. Scotty Miller leads the Buccaneers with 170 receiving yards.
Mike.
It's 2020. Just saying. But
I think the Chargers got a chance to beat him. Again, it's an upset. You know what I mean? Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. Do I hope it's going to happen? Yes, because it's Tom Brady. I want him to lose. That's just how I am.
Yeah, right now Tampa Bay's leading the division over the Saints because somehow the Saints lost 2 in a row.
Don't know what's wrong with the Saints.
But, you know what? We'll see what happens. Let's see if Herbert can get his first career win over Tom Brady.
Sure.
That's the biggest thing. So, For my quarterback of the week, I'm going with Deshaun Watson. I mean, last week Ryan Tannehill put up 300 passing yards on Minnesota. What makes you think Deshaun Watson can't put up 400?
Best 0-3 team in football.
Best 0-3 team in football, and their running attack really hasn't got into it yet. And I just, this is a weird 0-3 team battle because both of these teams could somehow find a way into the playoffs in either way if they wake up, if they bounce back. Starting 0-3 is a difficult feat to come back from in the NFL.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna go with Houston here. Pretty sure, it's in Houston. I think it's a pretty solid pick here with Deshaun Watson. I think he's got to do what he's got to do. He's the team. He's at this point, Deshaun Watson has to play well. The Texans have no chance winning football games. So. And now we go back to the Colts Bears. Are you taking Nick Foles?
No, sir.
Phillip Rivers?
Phillip Rivers. He has 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. After this game, he's going to have 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
You mean 9 touchdowns and 6 interceptions?
I just got a feeling
this
he's
is
going to
Phillip Rivers.
Game. You know what? I just got a feeling.
Phillip Rivers.
It's warm. He's been playing. You know what? He's used to playing in the warm weather. You know what? He's going to put up a big game. I'd say 500 yards. He's going to kill it this week.
500.
Hey, you know what? I'm going all in my upset this week.
With your quarterback? Man, yeah, you are. That's all right. So now.
That's how I roll.
Right. So now back to me for wide receiver. I'm going with OBJ.
OBJ, I'm him.
Boo!
I just think he's due to break out, man.
Boo!
And he's been having these comments talking about how they're a running football team and it don't matter about stats to him and that he'll block for Nick Chubb and this and that. And I'm just like, yo, this has got makeup of Odell going off. It just has an Odell type of week. Even if Odell scores like a 50-yard touchdown, I'll probably end up beating him most of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Odell here. Dallas' secondary is very iffy. So I think Odell, as long as Baker can get the ball to him, because Odell's open like 90% of the time. Baker just is not a great decision maker. I think, Odell's going to have a big week.
Boo.
Wow. I said wow.
And now?
I'm really getting sick of having to inform you with who your wide receivers should be.
Hey, you know what? Like the 2 teams I want to watch every week, Kansas City and Seattle. So I take Tyreek Hill of Kansas City.
You know what? He's taking 2 tough picks. He's going with Phillip Rivers against Chicago's defense, and then Tyreek Hill against.
I went for the layup. I went for the easy layup on that one. I went for the. You know what? I went for the.
This ain't easy, man. And then
the 25-yard field goal.
And now Tyreek Hill, going against tough New England defense. But number 1 in defense last year.
Blow him up.
Top tier defense, and they got Defensive Player of the Year Stephon Gilmore, man.
It's time.
It would be interesting. Tyreek Hill's always one of those guys because he can all of a sudden he'll have an 80-yard touchdown this week. So you just never know.
It was an easy pick.
It's a boom or bust, honestly, because he'll definitely get it. But those are our picks for this week. Hopefully I can bounce back, go back to 3-1, even though I don't really want to be 3-1 because 3-1 leads usually are not that safe.
2-2.
So 2-2 wouldn't be the worst.
Not for me.
That would definitely be good for him. But it's been Next Mike Up. Let us know what you guys think of our Week 4 picks in the comments. And yeah, we'll be back next week.
Bye-bye.